Good evening. Welcome to Tuesday Night Rotor Talk Live, Season 2, Episode 31, DJI FPV. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. Marcus is back in the house with us, and of course, Ron is here. So all is right with the world, okay? Ron and Marcus are here tonight, so definitely all is right with the world. Want to give you take care of a few housekeeping items, and then we're just going to get into some updates and get into what we're going to talk about tonight. It was a year ago tonight, and I forgot I was going to post a picture, but I forgot it. I had swallowed and got lodged in my throat a soup bone or a chicken bone from eating chicken soup last year. It was a year ago today, and I very calmly told my wife, please call 911, and I was able to cough that out, and it was one of the scariest moments in my life. So I'm very thankful that I'm here to tell you that and have a smile on my face when I tell you that today, okay? Also, want to let everybody know my granddaughter is doing just fine. Grandma and Grandpa are talking about getting an RV in a couple of years, so we've got plans in progress for that. So that's something to be happy about. And the other thing that I wanted to share too is there will be a video on my testing the FT Aviator with the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. It will be coming out after tonight's episode, so stay tuned for that. And when I say it's a must-watch video, it really is a must-watch video. You guys need to watch this very seriously, okay? I'm going to welcome people in. DeMarco is here. FSU Grad 03. Art is in the house. Whizbang99 is here. Kyle Knox is here. Larry Boggs is here. Parkin Tex is here. Drone Master is here. Nelton Senna is here. Scottish Drone View is here. And I think I saw Brian is here. True Drone Reviews is here. Grumpy Vlogger is here. We're all set. We're all ready to go. First of all, we want to welcome Marcus back. Marcus, we're glad to have you back. I know we had you back. I had you back on when we talked about the DJI FPV show, but welcome back. And why don't you give us a little bit of an update on the Anafi, Zino, FEMI, everything that's going on with all that, and talk a little bit about your trip and what we can expect to see video-wise.
Perfect. Thank you for that introduction, Bill. Yeah, so been pretty busy drone-wise. I dropped a video on the Anafi yesterday with some situations that I had, and I think it was wind related. But I've talked to a lot of other people with the Anafi, and they didn't seem to have the issues as extreme as I did. The Anafi was jinking around quite a bit. So I was coming up against the deadline of when I bought it through Amazon, when I could return it. So I went ahead and returned that drone today and asked Amazon just for a replacement, just like for like. So yeah, that's already at UPS and set off. So hopefully they'll send me another Anafi back soon. And that is, I guess the other thing I should say is that's why it is so great dealing with a company like Amazon. Had that been through Banggood or one of those GearBest, one of those companies, yeah, they'd want you to spend $100 to ship it back to China or whatever. So just a little lesson there. No knocks against the Anafi. I flipping love that little drone. But clearly I think I was having some issues with mine that others weren't. So that's the reason I did that. The other thing is I just posted a video just a few minutes ago. When we went on our trip through Arizona and Utah, we hit the Grand Canyon. We hit Page, Arizona, Lake Powell, and all that. So I took the Zino with me. Was one of the drones. I took the Zino, the Anafi, and the Mavic 2 Zoom. And so the Zino acquitted itself very well. If you look at that video I just posted, it's just amazing. A little flipping $240 drone can get footage like that. It just stuns me, but it's great. And then the other takeaway from that is flying all three of those drones together. You know, we'd go someplace, I'd fly one, and then we'd go another place, I'd fly the other. that DJI Mavic 2, it just shines like a shining star. When you fly that back to back with other drones, you really realize how good that product really is. Really, I just can't say enough about it. So yeah, that's about it. The only other thing on my mind is everybody with an Osmo Pocket, there's a new update, software update that you probably are going to want to get done. And I just watched Drone Valley's video about the selfie stick that DJI just released. Man, to me, that thing is a game changer. What, you'll have your Osmo Pocket out here, and the selfie stick has controls clear down here, so you can control everything on the camera. And if you put your Wi-Fi connector on that, it's also got a mount for the phone, and you can see that too. So to me, that one little tool is probably a game changer for this guy. And shoot, Bill, that's probably more information than you wanted in one blurb.
No. That's fantastic.
Hey, Marcus, can I stop you for a second? How much is that selfie stick that you just mentioned?
It's $69, and you'll be interested in this. So the first thing I did was, I'm a member of what do they call it? The DJI
Select?
Yeah, whatever it is. You give them $29 and you get discount codes and all that. So I looked on there to see if that selfie stick was in those list of accessories that you got the 20% discount. Oh, of course not.
Oh.
But I'll buy one anyway because I think it's really going to be phenomenal. The other thing that's worth mentioning about that is that you can flip that camera back and forth. So if you're vlogging and you're taking a picture of something straight ahead of you, and then you want to talk to the camera, push the button, it flips around and it's looking at you again. So anyway, interesting.
Hey, Marcus, I can save you a bunch of money. Just send that pocket back and don't buy that stick, and just get the what do you call the Osmo Mobile. Put your iPhone on it, and you'll probably won't be able to tell the difference if the video is any better or worse than your more expensive setup.
That could very well be. That could very well be. But then with my luck, Ron, somebody would call me on the phone about that and knock the video out.
Well, you know what, guys? I had one. I did a review on it and I sent it back.
The Osmo Mobile.
The Osmo Mobile, yeah, because in order to put it on there, your phone had to. You could only have it without the phone in a case. It would not. You had to take the case off the phone,
Yeah.
and I was like, not going to do that. Sorry, doesn't doesn't fly with me.
Right, because the balancing. Because
Ron, the balancing, and it just wasn't going to go.
Right,
Ron, Ron has been putting out some. You're getting the cinematic point of Ken Dono and Billy Kyle with your videos that you're cranking out, Ron. That they are just off the charts. Why don't you tell us a little bit about those?
Thank you for that introduction, Bill, and thanks for having me on the show. It's an honor I won't say an honor to be back. I was actually here last week, but well, I'm glad you mentioned Ken and Billy. They've been inspiration, but the person who has really helped me the most is our own Ethan Mitchell, who's a semi-regular in a lot of these shows. He's been on all our shows, and he's a wealth of knowledge. And start from the beginning. With Bill's help, I purchased the Mavic 2 Pro in the spring, in May. I mean, I had a lot of questions, and Bill got on the phone with me. He worked through me all the problems. We decided it was best for me to get the smart controller, but let's jump to chase. So when I first got it, I basically had it in the standard color settings, put on H.264, no D-Log, no, just regular, whatever, just flew it regular, and it still was the best video I've seen from any drone I've owned. But, now that I've got, comfortable with it, I decided to go with, I watched Billy Kyle's video and a couple others about this, to put the settings in all the ultimate things. So I put it in the D-Log M, I put it in H.265 codec. I use the color correction. I never know what they call it. A +1, 0, and 0 in the color profile. I think that's what they call it in there. And I raised the sharpness one, which was the advice of many people. So, I got this went out and shot it. And there's a button on the top on the right-hand corner, Bill, where you can put that button. And even if you have it in D-Log, it'll look like all basic colors. But if you hit that button, it basically puts a light on your screen of your device you're using and makes it look colorful again. So I discovered that. So I get home, I got the log video through Ethan Mitchell's help and G from Drone Therapy and Nemo. I'm now using Final Cut Pro instead of DaVinci Resolve, and they were right. It's much easier to use. So I get in there, right, and if you put the Mavic 2 Pro in the D-Log M, it creates a barrel distortion. Basically like almost looks like a GoPro, where it's like fisheye looking. So I found the course of the correction for it right away, but I couldn't get it in the right file on my computer. So Ethan Mitchell, working with me on Messenger, taught me through it. Like we tried a couple things that he finally suggested putting the file and putting in the motion effects. A long, boring story, but anyhow, I got that working. So I got the barrel distortion corrected, and I got a couple LUTs or whatever that I found online, and I got the best looking video I've ever seen. And the video the minute sample I posted on YouTube, it was shot at very low light. If I did that with my Mavic Pro 1, that would have been all noisy because it wasn't enough light. But that big sensor in the Mavic 2 Pro was able to shoot with very little noise, if any, at dusk at that low light. And I could bring the thing that was hidden in the shadows out through, post-processing. And, it's just, you've heard many people say it, but when you do it yourself, you're still amazed that you're able to do that with an image. You're able to bring everything back that's maybe hidden in the shadows of the darkness and so on. So, I've got big plans now. It takes a lot of power from your computer to render all this or whatever, but it's kind of worth it at the end. But if you're going to make like a 38-minute video with it like this or whatever, it's going to be a lot of work. But I know, and we have talked about this and before, but it really is amazing that the camera on that Pro. So I'll throw it back to Bill or Marcus if they have any questions or any comments.
Again, you got to check out Ron, drop in the chat your latest video, because people need to see that. Seriously, you need to see this video from Ron. He just did an outstanding job with that. And wow. And kudos to Ethan. Ethan's like our special assistant for all our channels here. I know he's been on with Ron and Marcus, and he's been on other shows. I think he's been on Coast to Coast with Bill Thomas and other people. That's fantastic. Ethan, you're great. You're the jack of all trades, and you are the master of every one of them. So we really appreciate that. Yeah. One of the things I wanted to share before we talk about our first article tonight is, I want to remind people a couple things. Spin Up. Let's not forget about that. It's October 19th. October 19th is a very easy day for me to remember. It's my mother's birthday, and I still celebrate it, even though she's been gone for about 5 or 6 years. But she was such a special lady. But that's an easy day for me to remember. But Spin Up is October 19th, Austin, Texas. Every month, if when it goes from July 31st to August 1st, the price is going to go up. So, if you want to save that money, you need to do it before August 1st. Okay. So keep that in mind. Also, make your hotel and car reservations and all that kind of good stuff. Marcus is going to be there. Ron is going to be there. I'm working on being there. Trust me, I am. Okay. I have a fortune that I'm going to have to spend in my mouth. And that's a whole episode in and of itself. So we're not going to go there, but I want to let you guys know that. One of the things I want to talk about before we get into our article, or for our main article of the night that we're going to talk about is, as you know, I'm doing beta testing for the DJI Smart Controller, and the big part of the beta testing for this round is the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0, and my initial testing with it was golden. It was spot on. One of the other things that they upgraded for on the controller with the beta is the ability to do YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and so forth. Well, let me tell you, that's an epic fail. All right. I had tried several times to get it to connect, and I got a video coming out. It's going to come out later this week on that. And it's like, I'll call it the sound of silence, because there's just like almost nothing you hear on it, because, you know, I'm standing there. Now it does pick up audio when you're doing screen recordings, but it's just sitting there, and it's just, you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, and there's just nothing. You know, I had a good strong Wi-Fi connection. There was no problem with that. It just was not going through for some reason. So, you know, and again, that stuff, you know, it's kind of nice to be able to report. It's nice because you can be able to post that out on the forum to let DJI know, because they watch the DJI forums for that. So stay tuned for that. I'm thinking, you know, it's probably going to be, my guess is we'll probably see something about maybe 3rd, 4th week in August about an official release for this. And it's real interesting what happens. And I didn't know this. I was always kind of wondering, so what happens when you get sent this beta software? What happens? Number one, what you have to do is, when they tell you that the program is up, you have to roll back to the previous version. So, and it's very easy to do that, but that's something that you do have to do. No qualms or quarrels when you sign the agreement to do that. So, so that's that. Okay, I wanted to go ahead and share an article. Now, you do know, you know, Marcus and I were on the other night and talking about DJI entering the FPV market. And I know, hey, Kestelou put out another article, and Ron posted it out there. And I want to thank Ron for posting that. And it talked about, you know, is it what it really appears to be, kind of a thing. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and share parts of it. And then Ron and Marcus and I are going to kind of talk about this here a little bit. So let me go ahead and share this here. Okay, and the article's called DJI's Next Drone Isn't What You Think. With a recent FCC filing for a pair of FPV goggles, remote, and a new drone, it's pretty apparent that DJI is going to be releasing an FPV drone in the near future. However, diving deep into the FCC filing points to DJI not releasing a drone, but rather an air unit that will possibly enhance current and future race drones. But this FCC filing doesn't tell the whole story. DJI would be foolish not to release a drone alongside this new DJI Air unit. And I think they will, but what kind of drone will it be? I have some theories. And then, now this isn't, hey, Keslu, this is Jack Town. He writes for Drone DJ here. Keep it simple. This air unit will be a camera and receiver unit for an FPV or race drone. This is very much like the current OcuSync air unit, but much smaller and hopefully even better. We speculate that it'll broadcast a low-lag digital FPV signal. Drone pilots should be able to purchase one of these units and add it to their current drone. This will allow them to update their cameras and, if they choose, to remote and goggles for HD transmission. So let's go ahead and this is the Snail unit. And with a lot of people recognize that DJI has released the Race Edition FPV goggles, not many know that DJI has been producing FPV Snail motors, quick-release propellers, and tachyon electric speed controllers for a while now. They've even teased an FPV Race Edition drone, dubbed the Phantom R, in a promotion for their goggles, and the promotion's right here. Finally, it seems DJI is moving into the FPV market. Will this drone be a full-fledged racer? Will DJI make a Cinewoop-style drone, or are they aiming to take FPV racing to the masses? Let's take a closer look at what drone or drones could be. And then I'm not going to go through this entire article. Here's what a Cinewoop does. And usually pilots mount a GoPro on there. So yeah, on set with a Cinewoop. Okay, so that's it. That's I wanted to go ahead and kind of cover that article in its entirety. You know, Ron, Marcus, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
Well, Bill, first I want to mention that Jack Town is from the Half Chrome YouTube channel.
Okay.
Jack Town is two guys on that do Half Chrome, and Jack's the one with, I'll say, the darker hair. If that's
I met both of them.
Okay, so that's who Jack Town is. But
okay.
Yeah, you know, I watched your great stream last Friday night when you two first talked about the filings for the FPV, I'll say, gear now from DJI, and you know, and then we saw this article a couple days later that this could just be for like a camera and a transmitter, and you know, I guess that makes sense. I mean, a popular camera for the people that have the racing freestyle or racing quads, especially the bigger 5-inch ones, was the GoPro Hero Session, because a 5-inch racing quad, freestyle quad, and I'm no expert in these terms, so if I butcher them, all apologies. You know, they loved that Hero Session 4, but that thing got of course discontinued. Session 5. Let me just say Session. Doesn't matter which one. And I know that wasn't really an FPV camera, but it was recorded. But anyhow, so I could see that there's a market for a high quality camera out there for people that build the 5-inch racers. But to the bigger discussion of DJI entering an FPV drone, I don't, as the way I know the FPV market, I mean, a lot of people have 20 whoops that they buy stock to fly, but most of the hardcore flyers are people build their own. Very similar to, Bill, you probably remember the PC market of the late 80s, early 90s, when most people prefer to get their PC tower case and put in their own processor and video board and memory. It was a hardcore thing. They wanted to build them rather than buy something off the shelf, and that's the way this industry is with the 5-inch and 3-inch racing drones. These people don't want to buy something completely built out and then they just fly. They want to customize it, swap parts in and out. And I'm saying most of them do anyways, or a large part of them do. So I don't really know where DJI's going with this. Sorry to be on a little mini rant, this whole thing anyways, because I don't think that's what the market that they would be aiming at once. But and us, the people like us, the hardcore DJI guys, we want Spark 2 or the Phantom 5. We don't want Robomasters and FPV racing drones. So I'm kind of lost in this whole thing. What's going to happen and why it's going to happen. And I'm going to throw it over to Marcus for his thoughts.
Well, I think I can answer that a little bit, Ron. What we do know is FPV flying, whether it is acro or racing, both of them, they're increasing in popularity exponentially. So no doubt that DJI sees that. And we've talked about this many times, how the toy drones are kind of falling away, and the real growth is in the FPV and acro and racing. So, but your point is well stated, that those guys like to build their own stuff. So you could see DJI creating a lot of high quality components, and particularly with the camera, like you talked about. What we know is that you see some just amazing video now that's more stable than you can ever believe off of some of those guys that they go out in the mountains with those things, and man, they're going way faster than we can go with our camera drones, and they're coming back with some pretty amazing stuff. So I'm sure that DJI recognizes that, and they'll be in the middle of it. And then could they, Ron, let me throw it to this, well, both of you, could they, let's just say that you're somebody like us that, hey, I'm not sure if I really want to do that, but I like it, and so maybe I want to try it. What if they came out with some kind of $400 or $500 FPV drone that guys like us could mess around with it, and then you graduate into, hey, I'm going to buy those really high quality components and build my own. So something like that is possible. The other facet of it is that when DJI, and we talked about this the other night, Bill, when DJI gets into something, they go in whole hog, and they're the top of the group. They want to own that market, and they'll really go after it. The other facet of that is that then also, does that feed on itself, and then all of a sudden you get more money back in racing drones? Do you have some competitions with the acro drones, etc.? So it makes sense to me. But what we also know about DJI is that's not their only card in their hand. I am confident that they will not disappoint people like us when we're looking for another version of the Spark. Or, I keep thinking about, I love my Mavic 2 Zoom, but Ron, you're making me really jealous with that camera on that Mavic Pro. So what if next spring they come out with a Mavic Pro 1-inch sensor that has some optical zoom in it? How quickly do you think I would melt my credit card on that one?
Yeah, it would be gone. A couple of things I wanted to bring up in the chat. Great comments, Marcus. Ethan brought up, and who else? I just wanted to see here. Yeah, Ethan and was it Drone Master or Palmetto's Moon? Spark 2 that will work both ways. With there'll be the normal drone, but it'll do FPV as well. And Marcus brought up a great point, and we talked about that the other day. Was DJI doesn't go into it 90%. They go into it, they're all in. Okay, they're in to win, as they say, and when they put their feet into something. And what I see them doing with this is, they want to appeal to the racing community, okay, because it is a very tight-knit community. Tommy Polo is an expert on it. I wish we could have had him on to talk about this, but they're the guys that really know a lot about this, and I know John Coopy as well. I mean, they're real up on everything about this, and then there's us who fly really, more the consumer type of drones. What if DJI, okay, they're going to make these parts, but these parts that they're making are also going to be a part of a new standalone drone. Okay, it's going to be, let's call it a beginner FPV that may have GPS, that won't, because I was trying to educate my wife, and I think I shared this with Marcus on Saturday, Ron, is, we went out one Saturday to the water tower, and I think it was, we were meeting Rick Smith here. He was in town, and she saw a gentleman, and she's like, he's wearing these really weird goggles, and he has little antennas up from there. And I said, that's a racing drone. Okay. She had never seen that before. And she said, what are those goggles for? He doesn't have his phone out. And I said, that's how he sees. Okay. He's seeing it in these goggles that are over his eyes. That's how that's his view from that. And she was looking at how fast that was going. She said, there's no way I could ever do anything like that. But what I'm thinking is they're gonna kind of bend towards making this an entry level type of an FPV drone that will appeal to masses, that will kind of bring people in, that will be kind of easier to set up and to go the process and to go through that. Because I know when this was a while ago, John Coopy was on Bill Thomas's show on Coast to Coast Drones, and we were talking about FPV, and I was asking him, is there a book? Is there anything? And he said, really, there's not. And it's not easy to pick this up. It takes a lot of practice, and you're going to crash a lot with this as well. It's really going to be like that. So I think what DJI is going to do here in this instance, they're going to appease the ones, the hardcores out there, by offering these parts in the new goggles and remote and things. But I think it's also going to be interchangeable with a drone that DJI is going to introduce, and will introduce people to FPV to bring them in, kind of like the best of both worlds. Still maybe have GPS, can hover and things like that, but you can flip a switch and get it into FPV mode. What do you guys think?
Well, that's interesting. Even though we think the Spark's small, I would still say it's kind of big compared to the 5-inch quads that most of these guys fly. And I'm going to try that. Not that I know what I'm talking about, but just so we don't get people flaming us, Bill. They tell me racing quads are when you fly through gates. So when you see somebody just out in the field, they're freestyling.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to get not that I'm any cooler than anybody else, but I think so. When you see them out there, that's freestyle. Racing is when they fly through those gates and those those hoops and things like that. But anyhow, I hate to be skeptical, but I just don't know. I hope they amaze me with this new product, but I don't know. I feel another Robomaster coming. They may have built the best robotic RV vehicle the world has ever seen, but who owns one?
Yeah, Rick Smith does. Well, Rick owns everything, but besides Rick, that's a good point, Ron. It's like, with something like the Robomaster, that has a very limited type of audience. I mean, that's going to appeal to teens, maybe late teens at the most. And, again, it's very limited with that. But I think, it will help get them thinking about programming, about building things and doing things. I think part of that's good for them. But for us with DJI, we're like sitting on our hands and saying, okay, DJI, when are you going to come out with a drone? Okay. Now, we've had this year, we had the Smart Controller came out in January. We had the Osmo Action came out, and I think it was May. We had the Robomaster come out not long after the Osmo Action. And we're like, okay, where's the drone? Okay. It's 2019. You haven't released the drone yet. Your Spark is 2 years old, was 2 years old as of Memorial Day. What are you guys doing here? As far as that's concerned. And I know we've talked about the market and whether it's timing is right and everything, all of this, I think personally, what's going on is this DJI AirSense that they're talking about, that they're going to be on every drone for 2020. I think what they're doing is they're wanting to get, this is just pure conjecture on my part. I haven't seen hide nor hair of this, but I think they're getting their Spark 2s ready with AirSense, and that's going to be the first DJI drone that you're going to see it on, and it will be out in time for the holiday season. You will see it. My guess is probably October-ish, about the time where it's been up. We'll be getting an announcement, and then they'll be having an event, and it's going to be for the Spark 2, and it's going to be in time for the holiday season, which is absolutely perfect. But I do have, Ron and I have something. I have a commercial interruption here, and I think Marcus knows about he doesn't really know he kind of knows what I'm going to say, but not really. Ron and I have decided, okay, since I was, and by the way, I was very honored to fill those incredible shoes of yours on ZinoNation a couple of Mondays ago. And Ron, thank you for that opportunity. I really appreciate that. But we have a new rule. Anytime anyone hits the buy button, they have to put quantity 3 in their cart, just to let you know when we're on the air, if that happens. So that's our new rule. Ron likes that rule, don't you?
Uh-huh. That's a good rule.
Well, that really would melt the credit card, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would. But go ahead, guys. Let's continue with this, because I think we have a good conversation going here.
Hey, Bill. So I have one more thing to add. I think it was Ethan Mitchell brought it up the other day, that one of the things that DJI could do with FPV drones, as we all know, you're always on the stick with them. I mean, our GPS drone, you can let them throw the sticks and it'll hover, right? It's easy for old guys like me. But if they came out with an FPV drone that would not hit the ground and would allow people with less ability or beginners to not crash the drone all the time, that would be an innovation. So that's a possibility.
That makes sense. That really does make a lot of sense. And with all this being said, kind of maybe shifting gears here just a tad, but still, kind of hovering on the subject of DJI as far as that's concerned. There's still talk about the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0, making a reappearance, and probably again, I'm hearing an October type of time frame. And a lot of people are saying, the reason that it's going to be October is because, DJI is gearing up their parts suppliers and getting them all ready to get this out. And I think, and here's the thing, I was very fortunate to be selected as a DJI beta tester for the Smart Controller. And I don't think it was an accident that they had, beta testing on the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 with the controller. One thing that I'll share with everybody, I'm going to be doing some more videos on that. But one thing I have to say is that it is just absolutely crazy, incredible how easy it is to control the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 with a DJI Smart Controller. Those sticks on there are just insane and out of this world. I can't say enough about it. And then, of course, I'm out in the bright sunshine with the Smart Controller, and I see everything. I don't have any issues with that. So what are you guys' thoughts about the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 making a comeback?
Bill, before we get too far off the previous subject, I want to interject that I have well, I won't even say a source because it's not a source. I know somebody on the internet. That is not a source. It's somebody I know. This person is located in Asia. They told me a month or more ago that we won't see the Spark 2 until November. And I, they didn't say that it ties in with the DJI AirSense, but they said it'll be here. It just won't be here for November. But that makes sense from the, if you want to release a product for the holidays, you have to have it out basically by early November.
Oh yeah, definitely. That makes perfect sense.
Up for it because, of course, I know DJI sell a lot from their site, but of course DJI relies on Best Buy as their big box partner in the U.S. to sell their product. Amazon and whatever. So those retailers have to take shipment of that, have it in the warehouses. So they need it by early November to ramp up. But back to the Phantom 4 V2.0. We've read this story so many times. It makes so much sense. It's got to happen, right? That, that once they find new part suppliers to build this thing again, releasing the Phantom 4 V2 will help the professional market because they have the, what do you call the mechanical sensor that everybody's looking for on a lens for mapping and hiring. But anyhow, that's going to fill the professional market that needs that drone, that camera over the Mavic 2, which is more for, we'll say, photographers and hobbyists. So again, the rumor makes so much sense. It's got to happen, right, Marcus?
Yeah, absolutely. It like you said, you nailed it with the professional market. They need that mechanical aperture. So I'm sure that'll. And if it's not called the V2.0, maybe it'll be the V3.0 or whatever. DJI, they always improve something, so I would expect that they would again.
The V3 Phantom 4 Pro V3.
Yeah, exactly.
We named it already for him, Marcus.
Well, I'll say this, okay? If they come out with a Phantom 4 Pro V3.0, all right, around November. Now, November's a great month for me because we get our Christmas bonus in November. I may pull out my card faster than Marcus can pull out his.
Now, Bill, does that rule you just said apply to your buy button too? You have
That's
to
only if we're online. It's only if the show is going.
Oh, geez. Okay. I know how you guys work.
So you know what? We need to get a connection. We need to kind of ping Sarah and have her monitor you when you're on, Marcus. And if you're hitting the buy button, so she can give Ron and I feedback on what's going on and when we can expect our order to come.
She probably would too. Let me
shoot. Yeah.
Well, shameless plug here in the middle of the show. Everybody, we're taking a little break here. I've almost completed my review of the JJRC. Let me get the exact time. Rocket 360. And Marcus is a big fan of JJRC drones.
Oh, man.
So this drone, the review's almost done. I'll be posting this couple days. And I have a feeling this drone may be making a trip out west.
I have a question, Ron. Are we going to see it come flying out of a pot?
Well, I don't have a pot big enough for this one. This one's the Golden Age drone was maybe the best drone. It was a drone of the year, but this guy's he's more of a professional drone. With a he's got a pro camera on him, and this is a little bit of upgrade. But again, so Marcus will be receiving a drone to compensate when he hits the buy button or whatever. Well, I'll send Marcus as many drones as he buys for us, Bill.
Well, you know what? You know what, Ron? You know what that looks like to me? Looks like Elon Musk kind of designed that is like a Mars lander.
You know what? Brian Singleton sent us, of course. Shout out to True Drone Reviews. And he said in his video, in fact, he made a hand catching video just for Marcus today. Everybody go over to Drone Reviews. He made a hand catching video. And if you watch it closely enough, this drone makes an appearance in the hand catching video. I think it's the only one he doesn't catch.
Yeah, he missed that one. Yeah.
So Marcus is the hand catching expert of the West Coast. So he may be put to the task of trying to hand catch this little baby here.
You know, what's the name of that JJRC one, Ron?
It's the Rocket 360, Bill. It's a 360 panoramic aerial photography drone.
Uh-oh.
And, you know, after Marcus is done, this is kind of drone that maybe only the great Bill the Drone Review could really do it justice or whatever. I
have to go out to Sam's Club to see if they have a pot big enough for me to put it in.
Well, you could take these, you could take the prop guards.
Oh, prop guards. Yeah, that's true.
I already had a minor accident, so one of the prop guards needs a little fixing there, whatever. But the walk of shame will definitely be in the video. But it's a little bit. This folds down, Bill. Look, you can. I forget how you do it, but it folds down. It's real compact for travel. So just
I like it. I like it. Sign me up for that.
You can fold it up. Good for travel. Again, it has a nice camera. It's FPV. It has a live.
Wow. There's your drone. There's your drone of the year. DJI can move aside on that one.
Could be, and it has a nice big battery.
Look at that battery.
Yeah, this thing
get about 7 minutes on it.
More like about 5 if you use it.
More like about 5.
This does have return to home on it, and it has that when it does 360, it goes in this crazy spinning, but it's full featured or whatever. It has automatic takeoff. It has a sport mode here, so I mean it's a full featured drone for sure. And here's your alligator clip to put your phone on so you can see your FPV or whatever if you want to go the distance on it. Of course, I did it in a little baseball field. It almost made it to the outfield, Bill.
Wow.
Hey, Ron, I got a question. The camera, does it shoot in full automatic?
Well, you want to put you want to set the white balance for Sunny, and you want to get the histogram up there. The camera actually doesn't look all that bad outside the shaking. I didn't get the one with the 3-axis gimbal on it. But okay, back to our regularly scheduled program here. We hijacked the Build a Drone Reviewer and turned it into the Three Stooges for a second there. But listen, back to our next story.
Well, DumbTube asked, if they release a Spark 2, how much do you think that would be? That's a good question.
$500. I can't imagine that it would be more than $500. What do you guys think?
Well, here's the thing. If it's going to be this crazy FPV racing drone with an acro button on it and goggles, that thing could be like $1,000. But if it's just going to be the Spark we all know and love without any FPV racing drone features, yeah, it's got to be like it's got to be $500 with controller.
Oh, I agree 100%. You would see $500 with controller. You'd probably see, my guess is like $799 for a Fly More kit, kind of a thing. That's what I would think. And and I will say this, and going back to the Spark and DumbTube, thanks for the question. The structural integrity of that, I think, I know we talked about this before. Having that rigid body like that. So many people I know, and I've seen them on my Spark groups, saying, they've run that thing full on into trees, into walls and stuff. And, just a few scratches and it's good to go. They're not having any issues with it. So that thing that thing has some great structural integrity to it.
So yeah, so much for what? And those foldable arms. I'd rather take the rigid design of the Spark, than put folding arms on it. It's small enough anyways.
Oh, absolutely. Positively. So yeah, that was a good question, DumbTube. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. That was good. So
True Drone Reviews in the chat said that the alligator clip on that controller is better than the DJI
phone holders. He's probably right. and I will say this, okay, the Mavic 2, the regular controller, okay, it will work. Actually, my Note 8 will fit inside there, but it's not. I mean, it's not as secure as I would like it to be. All right, as far as that's concerned, and the same thing with like the Mavic Air and the Spark, those controllers. Putting the phone in there, I was just always. That's why I had the Mav 2 mount that I haven't used my Mav 2 mount in months. Ever since I've got my smart controller, I've had no need to do that.
Yeah.
And now with the Phantom 4, I'm beta testing it, so I'm using a smart controller when I'm flying that now too. So it's like, I'm just grabbing my smart controller and then my drone, and I'm outside. So I mean, that's a good thing.
Hey, Bill, I've got some news in that regard.
Go for it.
Well, Curtis Dart hooked me up with a gentleman by the name of Will Barger that had a Crystal Sky 7.85 monitor for sale. So he's sending that over to me, and it's the 1,000 nit version. It's not the 2,000 nit version, just the regular one. But Ron and I were talking about this yesterday. That I love my iPhone, but boy, as soon as it heats up, that screen goes so dim to the point that you can't almost you can barely see it. Goes a couple of levels. It'll go one level dim, and then it'll go another level dim, and man, you can barely see what you're doing. So I had to come up with a solution, and thank you, Curtis, for getting us hooked up there, because I'm looking forward to receiving that thing and trying it out. And that kind of goes along with what you're talking about, and Ron has talked about with the smart controller. You guys have told me that you have no problems at all seeing that screen, even in direct sunlight. So looking forward to that.
Hey, Marcus, what's related to Bill, a story that we got last night? We had Josh from Parks and Tech on as our guest last night, and he told us we went through all the drones he purchased, and he purchased a Mavic 2 Zoom, was like his fourth drone. But get this, so then he got fascinated with the Pro. So Josh went out online, found the camera for the Mavic 2 Pro, bought just the camera, and he swapped the cameras out himself.
Well, I know Ken Dono has done that, and it's super easy. It's just super easy.
Yeah, that's what. Furthermore, he says he can do it in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah. Well, see, DJI, when we were at the event, and I remember this clear as a bell. It wasn't Michael Perry, but Michael Oldenburg was presenting the Mavic 2, and he said you will be able for a fee to get the camera swapped through DJI. And you know what? There hasn't been. You've heard crickets. And it's coming up on a year. August 23rd was when they released it. You're hearing crickets on that, okay? Absolutely nothing. DJI hasn't said anything about it. But, you go out on eBay, you can buy it, or, through a DJI parts supplier, buy the camera, boom, you've upgraded. There you are. I mean, it's, it's a no-brainer. It really is. And I can tell you, Marcus, once you've tried the Mavic 2 Pro, you'll say, Mavic 2 what? What was the other one? I don't remember.
I mean, I feel you, Bill, but it was a situation this past week. The day I took that video, I was also trying to spot some what we thought were whales out in the ocean, and no matter how I flew, I couldn't get in tight enough to tell what they really were. I could have used that Mavic 2 Zoom that night. I could have identified those whales. Now I don't know what was in the water. So it is times the Zoom would be nice. Well, when I bought the Mavic 2 Pro, Ken told me to get both and worry about it later.
That's what Ken says. The first time I met him, he said you can sleep on the couch. You could still sleep. So as long as you're still in the house, you're good. That was his answer. But we're coming up on August 23rd is right around the corner, and it's the 1-year anniversary of the Mavic 2. And I'm going to have a series of videos come out on that, and I think we'll have around that time we'll do a whole show that we're going to talk about the Mavic 2. And it's great that all three of us have that, so we can definitely talk about that. But it's a game changer. Whether you have the Zoom or the Pro, it really is a game changer. And then, they upped it with the Enterprise and the Enterprise Thermal. And, for me, the Pro is like, what am I going to go grab if I want to go catch a sunset outside and I have a few minutes? Okay, I'm grabbing the Pro. And see what I do with mine, and you guys have probably seen it before. My Pro's already set up. That's why I call it I have flight line up there, because my drones are ready to go on a moment's notice. I mean, I could grab the Phantom 4 and probably get set up just as quickly as I can with the Mavic 2, but it's extended out. I never leave it folded up except when I'm going somewhere. Okay? That's the only time that I fold it up. Otherwise, it sits out. It's ready to go. The only thing I got to do, pop a battery in, pop the cover off, grab the smart controller, and here we are, ready to go.
Wow. Bill, can I ask you a favor?
Yes.
The day, you said it's August 23rd, right? The anniversary. Yeah. That day, would you, on RC World and ZinoNation both, would you repost your initial review of the Mavic 2 Pro?
I sure will.
If anybody hasn't seen his review, Bill kind of like stepped out of his usual reviewing style and knocked it out of the park on this one. So if you
are you talking about the one, Twilight Zone one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was who came up with that? That was all Valerie. Okay, that was 100% her idea, and it was out of the park, home run unboxing like you will never believe. It was off the charts. It really was.
Post that on RC World on the 23rd.
I absolutely will, and I'll also post my first flight video, which happens to be my #1 video that I've ever produced out of all time. And it's like well over 50, getting close to 60,000 views on it. It's where I found the issue with precision landing. And, I got, and it got, the comments got to the point where they were just, I haven't replied back to comments for a while on that, because some people just are kind of like off the charts with their comments on it. But yeah, coming up on a year for that. Well, what was fun was I kind of put a little vlog together too, of our trip to New York. Now, Valerie had never been to New York City before. And, of course, we stayed over in Brooklyn, but still, you could see Manhattan Island. And it was besides, going to the event, we shared a wonderful time. I mean, we had pizza under the Brooklyn Bridge, and it was a nice restaurant, $5 a slice pizza. And then we got to walk by the Hudson and just enjoy the scenery. Saw some of the buildings lit up, the replacement for the towers. That was all shined up and had lights on it. The Brooklyn Bridge was glowing at night. It was just beautiful. We just had a wonderful time. But the whole experience there, and this is something I wanted to talk about, was, and I'm going to talk about this on the when we have our anniversary episode, is DJI puts on a first class event. If you ever get the opportunity to go to one, I highly encourage you guys to do this, because it's one of those things that you have to be there to experience it. Their hospitality and the way they treat you is like second to none. You are treated, everyone that walks through that door is treated like a VIP there that day. From the way the presentation was done to afterwards, they had finger foods they were serving. They took us outside to be able to fly one of the drones, it took a lot to be able to do that, because in New York City, it's illegal to fly drones. Well, they got a waiver from the city to be able to do this, which was off the charts insane. And then they gave each one of us an SD card as we were walking in, and I'm looking at Valerie, I'm like shaking my head, why are they doing this? It didn't add 2 and 2 until they said you can go out and fly your drone, put your SD card in, record what you want, take it home, kind of a thing. So I didn't do that. I was a little on the chicken side as far as that was concerned, but it was just a fun day. It was just fun. It was just a wonderful time. They really treated you exceptionally well there. That just really still, if I ever get the opportunity, I'm definitely going to go again. I don't know if it's going to be this year or next, but I'm definitely going to go again. That's just something as far as that's concerned. So,
hey, Bill, can I bring something else up?
You sure can, Ron.
I was watching a video today, and I can't say whose channel it was, but they had Castello on, and better off with the drone stuff, were not pronouncing his name correctly, and they were pronouncing his first name different in the video. But anyhow, it makes no bearing on the story. Anyhow, he said he said that their Parrot is definitely working on Anafi too. No release date, no time frame, but he definitely said there will be a Anafi too.
That's awesome. I think
that's awesome news, man. That
said Marcus. Maybe they'll send Marcus the prototype out as his replacement.
Yeah, maybe Marcus will be. Maybe Marcus isn't really under an NDA, Ron, and he just hasn't told us.
Yeah, right. That's the first story. Him sending the other one back for not flying right. They want him to beta test the two.
Not bloody likely.
That's just crazy. I want to, one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to take some time here before we kind of wrap things up and close things out and all that kind of good stuff. We're over the hump for July. We're heading into August, and we're getting into fall season. School's starting again. Things are starting to gear up and everything. As far as the latter part of the year, and it's making me think about what a great year it's been already. And one of the things that I really wanted to do was, at this point, as far as like a channel update is concerned. Oh, one of the things I wanted to announce: this is the last time we will be using Google Hangouts. I wish I had some funeral music to play, like "Funeral for a Friend" from Elton John or something right now, with the way he does it. That's just a great tune. Anyway, we'll be starting to use Zoom meetings as of next week, because on August the 1st, Google Hangouts is gone. It's history. So Zoom meetings starting next week. It will be transparent to all of you. But the nice thing will be is Ron and Marcus, when they're on, they could share things as well with Zoom meeting. You didn't have that capability with Google Hangouts to do that. So whoever the co-hosts and then the guests, they can share things ad nauseum, which will be absolutely fantastic. I think that's great. It's like about $14, $15 a month. But you can have up to probably, I don't know, it's like 200 people on. I don't know why I'd ever have 200 people on, but I know Roger from Canadian Drone Hub, that's what he uses, and he's had nothing but a great experience with that. I know Curtis Dart has used it, and it works very well. So, that's one thing that is going to start next week as far as that's concerned. But one of the things that I wanted to do is just take some time and thank all of my subscribers. I've been getting some fantastic comments on, several of my latest videos. I can't thank you guys enough for those comments. It really means a lot to me. And I know the same it means to Marcus and to Ron. As content creators on YouTube, we get the good and we get the bad. And sometimes, we see a lot of the ugly, and, it kind of, we're human beings. All right. It can bring us up or it can take us down sometimes, and I try not to focus. I've had a new attitude about being a content creator and focusing on the positive here. And it's made such a difference for me. It's made a difference, I think, in my videos that I've been putting out, and also, the live streams here. I want to keep a positive, upbeat message. And I think you guys have responded in kind. Your comments have been absolutely incredible. So, kudos to all of you. And also, you guys interact with the community, including Ron, including Marcus, and other people out there. You watch their channels, you consume their content, which is what this is all about. So I wanted to kind of go out there and say a big thank you to everybody. I really appreciate it. I know Ron and Marcus appreciate it as well. Let's go for some closing thoughts. Ron, you can go first, Marcus, and then I'll close things out.
Thank you, Bill, and thanks for saying such good things about the the loyal people that follow the channel and the chat. I mean, your channel is much bigger than Marcus and I, but we have a lot of crossover people that follow the show, and a lot of them are even have been guests and will be guests in the future if they haven't already. Again, it's we kind of continue on what we call the drone of the summer here, but I don't consider it a drone in the summer because I'm flying the Mavic 2 Pro a lot. I'm flying the Anafi a lot. I'm flying the Zino a lot. I have more drones to fly, and the good drones that I'm not really sitting around worrying about a Spark 2 or a Phantom 4 Pro or whatever. my suggestion is kind of just fly what you got, especially if you already have a good drone. I mean, if you have, if this is your only drone, yeah, then definitely, be looking at something new coming out. But if you already have these drones that I just mentioned, and many more, models I didn't mention that are great drones, just fly what you got and don't worry about the supposed drone in the summer. And real quick, I mean, I don't want to start a big discussion. Maybe we can go in this next week. But what would happen if the Anafi 2 would show up, like, we'll say before anything from DJI, we'll say it shows up in September and it checks all the boxes off that people want, and it really puts an impact in DJI sales. That's my closing thought of the night, and I'm going to throw it to Marcus in a minute. I just want to say goodbye to everybody in the chat. All the, I saw, I didn't get a chance to shout out Cigar Nation Warriors. Bill's in there. He's a big fan of the show, and I don't want to shout out Sean from Sean Matthews, the Drone Seekers, over in Spain International Drone Seekers. And I'm done talking. I'm going to throw it to my good friend Marcus.
So first, Ron, let me give you your answer with regard to the Anafi 2 and whatever Spark 2. Buy them both, brother. Just buy them both. That's the answer.
Hit that button.
Hit that flipping button. So, but you're spot on with your comments about fly what you got. When you were saying that, the thought that came to my mind, if the only drone that I had was the Spark, I'd be a happy camper. That thing is more fun than a barrel full of monkeys. I just like drones, and so I have a lot of different ones and enjoy the heck out of them. But your point of fly what you got is spot on. So then the other thing that I've got coming up is there was another firmware update for the FIMI X8 SE. So I will get that thing updated, and I can't remember, they had a change log, but those change logs are kind of worthless. They don't really tell you a whole lot. I know part of it was for the tracking mode. I can't remember the details, but I will update that, and we will do a quick video on the FIMI X8 SE. And if you have not seen Brian Singleton's video, he did his first flight the other day, and he's got a really good video out on that drone too. So check it out. And then the other thing coming on my channel is I still have you guys are going to be tired of seeing desert footage. I still have a ton of different footage with the Mavic 2, and I have some more Anafi video that I took in the desert southwest of Utah. So I'll be getting those up, and I mean there's just that is really a drone flyer's dream out there. Just everywhere you look, there's some place that you want to stop and throw your drone in the air and get some video. So anybody that can, I encourage you to travel through Arizona and Utah. And of course, you cannot fly in national parks or national monuments, but don't let that stop you, because there's tons of other cool places and cool things to look at with your drone. And then I also want to echo Bill's comments with regard to subs. Bill, when you were saying that just then, it made me think about, sometimes we tend to focus on, we get a negative comment or something, and of course we take it a little bit personal because we put a lot into this stuff. And but if you think about it, by far and away, 99.9% of the comments are always very positive, and I really appreciate it, and I know you guys do too. And enough of that mushy stuff. That's not what you guys signed on here for. So Bill, I see you're still typing. I won't throw it back.
No, go ahead. No, I'm good. Okay. I'm good. Well, first of all, I'm going to go ahead, Ron.
We want to. I forgot one shout out. We want to shout out Josh's channel, Parks and Tech. I think he's got a great channel, but he's only got about 50 subs at this point. So let's get Josh's sub count out. He just dropped the epic video today, but you know, if you don't like a long one, he's got plenty of short ones. He's got a golden egg drone, so please drop by Parks and Tech and show him some love on the subs and the like.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. You know, I'll make sure, Josh, I'll make sure to drop a link in the description after I'm done with the show. We'll get that handled, and you definitely need to check that out. First of all, I need to say something, Sarah. You know, we got you on speed dial, so if Marcus hits that buy button, you need to let us know, okay? Because you know we're not gonna. It's not gonna be quantity times one. It's gonna be quantity times three. Okay, that's. I think what we need to make sure that we stay in touch with her to monitor Marcus's actions, so we know what's going on as far as that's concerned. Anyway, also I want to thank everybody for being. You guys are fantastic in chat. You nail it in chat. I've been watching it the whole night. You guys do absolutely great. Thank you, and thank you guys for keeping it clean. I really, truly, absolutely appreciate that. Also, want to let you know, I know it's in the works, and I haven't heard anything more, but I know Ken Dono, Original Dobo, was trying to plan some type of a small meetup here in the Tampa area coming in August. And with more details on that, of course, Billy Kyle will be here. You know, if you don't see Ken without Billy, there's something wrong. Okay. So, of course, you know, we'll get Billy down here. You know, and I told Billy next time we meet, you know, now that he's 21, I'm going to buy you a beer. Well, you know, when he was down last time, he wasn't 21 yet, so I couldn't buy him a beer. I'm like, okay. He says, I'm not 21 yet, Bill. I'm like, oh. So, Billy, if you're watching, you know, when you come down, if you're coming down for Ken's event, you know, I will buy you a beer. I do promise you that. Okay. But again, you know, that's something that may be coming up, and there'll be plenty of news on that. I will get that out. I do want to say again, it's a video you need to watch. FT Aviator on the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. It's coming out later tonight. I have to finish it up and get it uploaded to YouTube, but it is one you do not want to miss. I guarantee you that with all seriousness, you do need to watch this, okay? You know, I can't emphasize that enough. I also want to give a special shout out to somebody who's just been an absolute great friend of the channel, and that's Curtis Dart. Curtis, you are absolutely fantastic. You have been an absolute stellar supporter of this channel, and I want to thank you for everything that you do for us. I know you know, you help out Ron. I know you help out Marcus. You know, you have been there. You're on Canadian Drone Hub. Every time I'm on, you're on there as well. So, you know, you just have such a passion about drones. You know, I want to thank you for introducing us to Tommy. Tommy is just, I can't say enough nice things about Tommy Polo. It was a treat having him on last week. He was absolutely fantastic. You know, Tommy, you're more than welcome back anytime on the show. We absolutely loved having you on. And it was great. And by the way, you need to watch Tommy's video. Polo Vision is Tommy's channel, and he put out a video of his son flying the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. You want to check that out. Don't miss it. That is absolutely fantastic. So that's about it for right now. Like I said, that video is coming out tonight. I'm going to be having a smart controller beta testing video coming out later this week, probably a couple of them, you know, because I have some content regarding around that. So got a lot of good things coming up. You know, we're rolling into August here. You know, it's just fantastic. You know, I think we had a great show tonight. Great chat. As always, I got to thank the best co-hosts in the business here. They don't get any better than Ron Brown and Marcus Crawford when it comes to talking about drones. And I really appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. So thank you guys so much for being here. I do not take you for granted. And yes, I will probably buy you guys a beer down at Spin Up. Okay. Just to make sure, you know, as far as buying beers is concerned. So, and that's it for tonight, guys. Again, thanks so much for watching. And remember, it's a great day to fly. Take care.